Blended learning. What is it? The Oxford Dictionary defines blended learning as a style of education in which students learn via electronic and online media, as well as traditional face-to-face teaching. This means that there is a technology aspect of the learning curriculum, as well as an instructor who interacts with the learner. We will take a look at blended learning and the factors to weigh when deciding if, when, and how to use it.
One of the biggest benefits of blended learning is that it gives students a choice of when they want to work.
Traditional schooling consists of students attending class at a given schedule. They are expected to be in a particular place at a particular time. Whether it is due to a physical constraint or a busy schedule, some students simply cannot be expected to attend class the way a traditional student would. In a blended learning program, these students can work at their own pace and can still keep up with their learning without physically being present all the time.
Another benefit is that learners become more aware of their own learning process. They can track their own progress as they complete their work and are ready to learn what is next. This metacognition has been found to be important in the success of the learning process. Blended learning also improves the technology literacy of the learner. While the student is using technology to access materials, he or she is also learning how to use the platform or the method of delivery. One thing that separates blended learning from e-learning is that students still get to form a relationship with a teacher. They can put a face to a name and get help in person when necessary.
I did a full year of online blended learning classes in 8th grade. For 9th and 10th grade, I did every other day. I like that I can work at my own pace, and I like that I can do schoolwork in my own room where I can be calm and it's quiet space.
Other benefits of blended learning are that it improves 21st century skills. It can provide more opportunities to interact with others, and it can keep students engaged due to more personalized learning plans. On the other side of the coin are the issues with blended learning. Let's take a look at some of them. One of the biggest issues is the variety of platforms and technologies available. It can be overwhelming for educators and learners to figure out which blend works best for them. Another issue with blended learning is that it is often mislabeled. Some schools or programs might call a program blended learning, when in reality it might be more like e-learning. These programs often lack the face-to-face interactions that balance the scales of blended learning. A third problem is the lack of support and training for educators. If an instructor takes on the role of a blended learning teacher without being trained in the technology aspect of the program, it hinders the learning process. On the other hand, if an instructor knows how to use the technology but does not create good lessons, the learner will also have issues. I have had some personal experience with blended learning as a teacher. For the 2017-2018 school year, I was asked to be the Spanish teacher for several blended learning students. The teachers that were being used in the program at the time were teachers on the other end of a computer located around the country. We tried to use the same digital textbook that the rest of the Spanish students had been using, and for the most part, it went really well. The students were assigned activities and would work at their own pace. They would check in with me from time to time, and I would answer their questions either through email or in person. I found that the blended learning students really struggled with speaking assignments when compared to the students I had in the traditional classroom. Although there are many advantages to blended learning, as a world language teacher, I felt like the lack of speaking was a drawback. Every situation is unique, but you can consider some of the points made in this video when making your decision.